I still remember the sound, the metallic click of my safe unlocking, followed by my brother's triumphant laugh echoing through my apartment. "Got it," he announced to everyone at the dinner table. "Took me 3 tries, but I cracked Emma's mysterious safe. It was supposed to be a joke, a party trick, something to entertain the family during our monthly Sunday dinner at my place." My parents laughed. My sister-in-law rolled her eyes playfully. Even my boyfriend chuckled, not understanding the weight of what was about to happen. But I wasn't laughing. I was frozen, fork halfway to my mouth, watching my older brother Daniel pull open the small, fireproof safe I kept in my bedroom closet. "Let's see what little Emma's been hiding," he said with that condescending tone he'd perfected over 32 years of being the golden child. He reached inside and pulled out a thick folder. His smile faded as he opened it. His face went from amused to confused to completely pale in the span of 5 seconds. "What? What is this?" His voice cracked. Inside that folder were documents, years of documents, photographs, recordings, bank statements, legal papers, evidence of every loan he'd never paid back, every lie he'd told our parents about me, every time he'd stolen from my accounts, every manipulation, every betrayal. 12 years of proof, carefully organized, dated, and notarized. When he looked up at me, his hands were shaking. "Emma, why do you have all this?" I set down my fork calmly and said 5 words that made my mother gasp. "Because I knew you'd sue me." The dining room went completely silent. My father's face turned red. My mother stood up so fast her chair fell backward. My sister-in-law grabbed the folder to see for herself. And my brother? My successful, charming, everyone's favorite brother? He looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. "Stay with me till the end, because this isn't just about a safe or documents. It's about 12 years of being the scapegoat, the moment I stopped protecting a predator, and the lawsuit that almost destroyed me until my paranoid documentation saved everything. My name is Emma Richardson. I'm 30 years old, and I've spent most of my life being blamed for my older brother's mistakes. Daniel is 32, 2 years older, and from the day I was born, he's been the sun in our family's solar system, while I've been the distant, forgettable planet no one thinks about. Growing up, the difference between us was stark. Daniel was charismatic, funny, athletic, popular, the kind of kid who could charm teachers into changing his grades and parents into believing any story he told. I was quiet, bookish, anxious, the kind of kid who colored inside the lines and still got criticized for not making it pretty enough. Our parents, especially our mother, made no secret of their favoritism. "Daniel just has that special something," Mom would say. "He lights up a room." And me? I was the shadow in the corner, the one who made people uncomfortable by simply existing. But the favoritism wasn't just about personality. It went deeper, darker. When Daniel was 16 and I was 14, he got caught stealing money from Mom's purse, $200 that she'd been saving for groceries. He blamed me. "Emma's been weird lately," he told them, his voice full of convincing concern. "I think she might have a problem." I was grounded for a month. He got off with a warning to watch his little sister more carefully. When Daniel crashed Dad's car at 18 drunk driving, coming home from a party, he said I'd begged him to pick me up from a friend's house, that he was trying to be a good brother. I hadn't even been at a friend's house. I'd been home, asleep. But they believed him. They always believed him. My punishment? Extra chores for causing my brother to risk his life driving. The pattern continued through high school, through college, through our 20s. Every mistake he made somehow became my fault. Every lie he told somehow became my truth to disprove. And I learned something important. Documentation was my only defense. I started keeping records when I was 18. It began small screenshots of text messages where Daniel asked to borrow money, copies of checks I'd written him that he promised to pay back, notes about conversations where he'd twisted my words. At first, it was just to help me remember what had really happened when he inevitably lied about it later. But then something changed. I was in my sophomore year of college, working 2 jobs to pay tuition because my parents had given their savings to Daniel for his business venture, a venture that failed within 6 months. Daniel called me one night, drunk and crying. "Em, I need help. I'm in trouble." What kind of trouble? I owe some people money, like a lot of money. If I don't pay them back by Friday, I don't know what they'll do. My stomach dropped. How much? $5,000. I had exactly $5,200 in my savings account, every penny I'd earned from my jobs, saved for next semester's tuition. Daniel, I can't. Please, Emma, you're my sister. Family helps family. If you don't help me, I could get hurt. Do you want that on your conscience? I gave him the money. All of it. Transferred it that night. He promised to pay me back in 2 weeks. I'm getting my tax return. I'll give you everything, plus interest. 2 weeks passed, then a month, then 3 months. When I finally confronted him at a family dinner, he looked genuinely confused. What money? The $5,000 I gave you. In March. You said you'd pay me back. He laughed that easy, charming laugh. Em, I never borrowed money from you. Are you sure you're remembering this, right? Everyone looked at me. Mom's expression was a mix of concern and pity. Emma, honey, she said gently, you've been so stressed with school. Maybe you're confused? I'm not confused. Daniel, I have the bank transfer. Then show us, he said calmly. I pulled out my phone, showed them the transfer. $5,000 to Daniel's account. Date, time, everything. Daniel looked at it, frowned, then his face lit up. Oh, that. Yeah, no, that wasn't a loan. That was your share of Grandma's birthday gift, remember? We split the cost of that cruise for her? We had not split the cost. I hadn't even known about a cruise. But Mom nodded. Oh, that's right, you two were so generous to do that. But, Emma, Dad said firmly, drop it. Your brother explained it. Don't make family dinner awkward. I sat there, speechless, watching Daniel smile at me across the table, a smile that said, I win. That night, I opened a new folder on my computer labeled Documentation, and I started keeping everything. Over the next 12 years, the folder grew. Every loan, every lie, every manipulation, everything documented, organized, dated. 2014, Daniel borrowed $3,000 for car repairs. Never paid back. Evidence. Text messages, bank transfer, repair shop receipt showing he actually spent it on a vacation. 2015, Daniel told our parents I damaged his laptop and needed to replace it. $1,800. I hadn't touched his laptop. Evidence. Photos showing the damage existed before he claimed I caused it. 2016, Daniel asked me to co-sign a lease for an apartment, promised to pay rent. Didn't pay for 6 months. I nearly got evicted from my own place covering his rent. Evidence. Lease agreement, payment records, eviction notice. 2017, Daniel borrowed my credit card for emergencies, racked up $7,000 in charges on luxury items. Evidence. Credit card statements, photos of the items in his possession. 2018, Daniel told our parents I'd stolen inheritance money from Grandma's estate. In reality, H.E. had access to her accounts and had been withdrawing money for months. Evidence. Bank records showing his withdrawals, Grandma's handwritten will naming me as executor, which he'd hidden. 2019 to 2022, multiple loans ranging from $500 to $10,000. Total, $43,000, none repaid. Evidence. Text messages, bank transfers, promissory notes he'd signed. Every single incident was documented. Text messages backed up in 3 locations, bank statements saved as PDFs, photographs time-stamped and geotagged, voice recordings in states where one-party consent was legal, witness statements from friends who'd heard him admit to things. I even had a notarized timeline, a comprehensive document reviewed by a lawyer detailing every incident chronologically. My friends thought I was paranoid. Emma, why are you keeping all this? He's your brother. Because one day, he's going to push too far, and when he does, I need proof. They didn't understand. They came from normal families where siblings didn't systematically destroy each other. But I knew Daniel. I knew how he operated. And I knew that eventually, when I finally stood up to him, he'd try to destroy me legally, financially, and socially. So I prepared. The breaking point came 6 months ago. I was 29, finally financially stable after years of struggling under Daniel's loans. I had a good job as a data analyst, a small apartment I loved, and a boyfriend named Marcus who actually treated me with respect. Daniel, meanwhile, was struggling. His third business had failed. His wife had left him. He was living in our parents' basement, claiming he was between opportunities. One Sunday, he called me. "Em, I need a favor." My stomach tightened. "What kind of favor?" "I need you to invest in my new business. It's going to be huge. I just need startup capital." "How much?" "50,000. I laughed. Actually laughed. "Daniel, I don't have $50,000. "Yes, you do. I know how much you make. You've been saving. Come on, family helps family." The answer is no. Silence. Then his voice changed cold, threatening. "You're really going to do this? After everything I've done for you?" "Everything you've done for me? Daniel, you've stolen from me for 12 years. You've lied about me. You've never paid me back a single dollar. I'm done." "You'll regret this," he said quietly. "I promise you'll regret this." He hung up. 2 weeks later, I was served with papers. Daniel was suing me for $75,000. His claim? That I owed him years of loans he had given me, that I'd borrowed money repeatedly and never paid him back, that I'd taken advantage of his generosity and good nature. He had evidence, fabricated documents, forged signatures, manipulated text messages. When I called my parents, they'd already talked to Daniel. "Honey, why didn't you tell us you borrowed money from your brother?" Mom's voice was disappointed. "I didn't borrow money from him. He borrowed from ME. Daniel showed us proof." "His proof is fake, Mom." "Emma, please don't lie. Just pay him back. Family shouldn't fight like this." I hung up, shaking with rage and fear. That's when I called a lawyer. Her name was Jennifer Park, 40-something, sharp-eyed, with a reputation for winning impossible cases. "Your brother is suing you for $75,000 based on fabricated evidence," she summarized after reading the papers. "And your family believes him?" "Yes." She leaned back in her chair. "This is going to be expensive to fight. Do you have proof that his claims are false?" I pulled out my phone. "I have 12 years of documentation." Her eyebrow raised. "Documentation?" "Every loan he took from me, every lie he told, every manipulation, all documented, dated, backed up in multiple locations, some of it notarized." I showed her my organized folders, digital and physical, the timeline, the bank records, the text messages, the photographs, the witness statements. Jennifer's expression changed from skeptical to impressed. "This is comprehensive. I knew this day would come." She studied me carefully. "You've been preparing for this for 12 years?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because my brother is a predator, and predators don't stop until someone stops them. I got tired of being prey." Jennifer smiled, the kind of smile that made me understand why she won impossible cases. "Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're not just going to defend against his lawsuit, we're going to countersue. For every dollar he owes you, plus interest, plus emotional damages, plus legal fees." My heart raced. "Can we do that? With this evidence?" "Absolutely. Your brother made a critical mistake. He assumed you were still the scared little sister who wouldn't fight back. He has no idea what he's walking into." For the first time in 12 years, I felt hope. 2 months before our court date, Mom invited everyone for Sunday dinner at my apartment. "It'll be good for the family to be together," she said. "We need to work through this conflict." By work through, she meant Emma needs to apologize and pay Daniel. But I agreed. Let them come. Let them see. I prepared a nice dinner, roasted chicken, vegetables, homemade rolls. Marcus helped me set the table, sensing my tension but not pushing. Daniel arrived with his new girlfriend, Ashley, young, sweet, completely unaware of who she was dating. My parents came loaded with tension and forced smiles. My younger sister Rachel, who'd stayed mostly neutral in all this, came with her husband. We sat, we ate. The conversation was strained, everyone avoiding the elephant in the room. Until Daniel brought it up. "So, Emma," he said casually, cutting his chicken, "have you thought about settling? We could avoid court if you just pay you $75,000 for money I never borrowed?" I set down my fork. "No, Daniel, I haven't thought about that." Mom sighed. Emma, please, can't we just what, Mom? Just let him lie? Just let him steal from me for another 12 years? Just pretend this is normal? It's not about stealing, Daniel said, his voice taking on that wounded tone. It's about family taking care of each other. I've helped you so many times. Name one time. He blinked. What? Name one time you've actually helped me. One time you gave me money and didn't expect it back. One time you protected me instead of throwing me under the bus. Silence. That's what I thought. Daniel's expression darkened. You've always been jealous of me. That's what this is really about. You can't stand that Mom and Dad love me more. They do love you more, I interrupted. I've known that my whole life. But that doesn't give you the right to destroy me financially. I'm not destroying you. You're destroying yourself by lying. I have proof, Daniel. My voice was steel. 12 years of proof. Every loan, every lie, every manipulation, all documented. He laughed. You're bluffing. Am I? Something in my tone made him pause, made him look at me differently. That's when he noticed the small safe in my bedroom closet through the open door. What's in there? He asked, nodding toward it. None of your business. His old competitive instinct kicked in. Bet I can crack it. Daniel, don't, Mom started. But he was already standing, walking to my bedroom. Come on, Emma's probably got her diary in here or something. Remember when we were kids and I used to read it out loud? He knelt in front of the safe, started trying combinations. Everyone watched, some amused, some uncomfortable. Marcus looked at me. I shook my head slightly. Let him. Your birthday, Daniel tried. Didn't work. Mom's birthday? No. Oh, your high school locker combination? Click. The safe opened. Daniel's triumphant expression lasted about 3 seconds. Then he saw what was inside. A thick folder, multiple flash drives, a small recording device, all labeled clearly. Daniel Richardson, Evidence Compilation, 2013 to 2025. He pulled out the folder with shaking hands, opened it. The first page was a table of contents. Loan records, $43,000 total. Theft documentation, credit card fraud, $7,000. False accusations, compiled list with witness statements. Manipulation tactics, voice recordings where legal. Forgery evidence, his current lawsuit documents analyzed. He flipped through pages. His face went from pale to green. What is this? I stood up calmly and walked to my bedroom doorway. That's 12 years of documentation proving every single thing you've done to me. He looked up, his eyes wide. You've been spying on me? I've been protecting myself from you. Mom rushed over. Emma, what is this? You've been keeping files on your own brother? I've been keeping evidence of his crimes against me. There's a difference. Daniel's girlfriend Ashley took the folder, started reading. Her face changed with each page. Daniel, is this true? Did you really forge these loan documents? Ashley, I can explain. Did you steal from your sister? It's complicated. It's not complicated, I said. It's actually very simple. He's been stealing from me, lying about me, and manipulating our family for 12 years. And I've been documenting everything. Dad finally spoke, his voice quiet. Emma, why didn't you tell us? I tried, multiple times. You never believed me. You always believed him. Rachel, my younger sister, picked up one of the flash drives. What's on these? Backups, plus video recordings of some incidents where Daniel admitted things on camera without realizing I was recording, audio recordings of phone calls, everything time-stamped, geotagged, and verified. Daniel stood up, the folder clutched in his hands. Why? Why would you do this? I looked him directly in the eyes. Because 2 months ago you sued me for $75,000, claiming I owed you money. You fabricated evidence. You forged documents. You tried to destroy me legally and financially. His face confirmed everything. And when you did that, I continued, you made the biggest mistake of your life, because now all of this I gestured to the safe becomes evidence in court. Evidence that proves not only are your claims false, but that you've been committing fraud and theft for over a decade. Mom sank into a chair. Oh my God. My lawyer is filing a countersuit, I continued, For every dollar you owe me, plus 12 years of interest, plus emotional damages, plus legal fees, we're estimating around $150,000. Daniel's face went completely white. You can't. I can, and I will, unless you drop your lawsuit, admit everything publicly, and agree to a payment plan for what you actually owe me. The room was completely silent except for Ashley quietly crying as she continued reading the folder. How could you? She whispered to Daniel. How could you do this to your own sister? Ashley, please. She stood up, grabbed her purse. I can't be with someone who... She looked at me. I'm so sorry, I had no idea. She left. The door closing behind her echoed through the apartment. After Ashley left, chaos erupted. Dad stood up, his face red. Daniel, is any of this true? Dad, she's exaggerating. Is it true? Daniel looked at the floor. Some of it, but I always planned to pay her back. $43,000? Rachel's voice was shrill. You borrowed $43,000 from Emma? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? I asked calmly. Explain to everyone how you borrowed money from me while I was working 2 jobs in college, how you used my credit card without permission, how you told Mom and Dad I stole from Grandma when it was actually you. Mom was crying now. Daniel, how could you? I was desperate. My businesses kept failing. My marriage was falling apart. You needed help, I interrupted. But instead of asking honestly, you stole. And then when I finally cut you off, you tried to sue me for money I never borrowed. Dad picked up the folder, reading through it with shaking hands. These bank statements. Emma, you really gave him all this money? Yes. And he never paid you back? Not a single dollar. Rachel looked at me with tears in her eyes. Why didn't you tell me? I would have helped you. Because I was embarrassed. Because I kept thinking maybe this time would be different. Maybe this time he'd actually be a real brother. Daniel finally looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something other than manipulation in his eyes. I saw shame. I'm sorry, he whispered. You're sorry you got caught? No. His voice broke. You're right, about all of it. I've been a terrible brother, a terrible person. I took advantage of you because I knew you'd never fight back. I'm fighting back now. He nodded slowly. What do you want me to do? I pulled out a document from a drawer. I'd prepared it weeks ago, hoping this moment would come. This is a settlement agreement. You drop your lawsuit, you admit publicly to our family what you've done. You agree to a payment plan, $500 a month for the next 7 years to pay back what you actually owe me, no interest. And you get therapy, real therapy, not just talking to a friend. He took the paper with shaking hands. And if I don't, then we go to court, and I bury you with evidence. You'll lose your lawsuit, lose my countersuit, and possibly face criminal charges for fraud and forgery. Your choice. Daniel signed the settlement agreement that night. In front of our parents, Rachel, Marcus, and me, he admitted to everything. Every loan, every lie, every manipulation. Mom cried through the whole thing. Dad looked 10 years older by the end. Rachel hugged me afterward, whispering, I'm so sorry we didn't see it. We should have protected you. But the person who surprised me most was Mom. A week after that dinner, she came to my apartment alone. I need to apologize, she said, her eyes red from crying. I failed you. For your entire life, I failed you. I didn't know what to say. I always knew Daniel was difficult, she continued, but I told myself he just needed more help, more support. And I told myself you were fine because you never complained. But you weren't fine. You were suffering, and I chose to ignore it. Mom. No, let me finish. I favored your brother because he demanded it. He was loud and charismatic and made me feel needed. But you, she took my hand. You were strong and independent and didn't need me. And instead of being proud of that, I resented it. I resented that you didn't need me the way he did. Tears streamed down my face. You're the daughter every mother should want, she said. You're strong, smart, responsible, and kind despite having every reason not to be. And I'm so sorry I made you feel like those qualities were flaws instead of gifts. We cried together for a long time. The relationship with my parents didn't fix overnight. It took months of therapy, family therapy this time, to rebuild trust. Daniel kept his agreement. He's in therapy now, genuinely working on himself. He pays $500 every month without fail. We're not close, but we're civil. Ashley actually reached out to me months later, thanking me for exposing who Daniel really was before she married him. Rachel and I are closer than ever. She's become the sister I always needed. And Marcus? He proposed 6 months after that dinner. Said watching me stand up for myself was the moment he knew I was the one. It's been a year since that family dinner. I still keep the documentation, not because I expect Daniel to betray me again, but because I learned an important lesson. Protecting yourself isn't paranoid. It's smart. My therapist helped me understand that growing up as the scapegoat had trained me to document everything because no one believed my words. My truth was never enough on its own. But that survival skill saved me when it mattered most. Last month, I got the final payment from Daniel. He paid off the remaining balance early. He included a note. I know this doesn't undo the damage, but I hope it's a start. Thank you for not giving up on me completely. D. I put the check in my account and closed the folder labeled documentation for the last time. I don't need it anymore. Because I'm not that scared girl anymore, afraid no one will believe her. I'm a woman who knows her worth, documents her truth, and refuses to be anyone's victim ever again. People ask me sometimes if I regret keeping all that evidence, if it was too much or obsessive. I tell them the truth. It saved my life. When Daniel sued me, when he tried to destroy me legally and financially, that folder was the only thing standing between me and financial ruin. My lawyer said most siblings in my position lose these cases because it's their word against their siblings. Judges often split the difference, assuming the truth is somewhere in the middle. But I didn't have to rely on my word. I had evidence, irrefutable, time-stamped, notarized evidence. And that made all the difference. The safe sitting in my closet isn't a symbol of paranoia. It's a symbol of self-preservation, of refusing to be gaslit, of valuing my own truth enough to protect it. Sometimes people call you crazy for being prepared, for documenting, for protecting yourself, until the day comes when you need that protection. Then suddenly, you're not crazy. You're smart. You're a survivor. If you discovered a family member was systematically stealing from you, would you document it or confront them immediately? Drop your answer in the comments and hit that subscribe button because protecting yourself isn't paranoia, it's wisdom.